Hey, Dr. Kandula with Advent. Today, talking about really one of the most common questions that we're getting and we're seeing kind of coming across our feeds in this COVID era, which is loss of sense of smell. Is that related to COVID? Is it a cold? What's going on? And I think that is an issue that, as an ENT practice, we've dealt with over our entire existence, which is something that happens that most people don't think about. Is losing your sense of smell happens. The most common reason for somebody to lose their sense of smell in the pre-COVID era was the common cold. And there's various reasons why that can happen, but that happens at times. And with the common cold, it sometimes can be a permanent change, and it's really devastating for folks who have a loss of sense of smell that's permanent. It really does impact their life overall. You can't smell things. Obviously you can't taste a lot of things. A lot of your sense of taste comes back to your sense of smell. So, for instance, to try to figure out if your milk has gone bad just by relying on your sense of taste is almost impossible. And so, things like that, you can't smell smoke, you can't smell, gas leak. There's certain very serious things that, you never would really think about unless you don't have your sense of smell. Now, in this COVID era, early on, like back in March, when this was started out in China, there started to be early reports that there were a lot of people who were getting impacted with what we call anosmia. That's a fancy word for loss of sense of smell. And early on, it started to become obvious that there is some connection here that's going on. And so what we've learned is a significant proportion of folks who have COVID have loss of sense of smell as one of their symptoms. And it's hard to get a good read on what do I mean by significant. It seems, based on some of the studies, sometimes it's more than half of folks who have COVID have loss of sense of smell as one of their symptoms. Sometimes it can be the only symptom. So if there are many folks who have COVID who are really asymptomatic, and one of the few things that they may notice is, wow, I can't smell all of a sudden. And it can be kind of something that's subtle that, until you understand that it's there, now becomes obvious. It's one of those things that kind of sneaks up on you. So I think in this day and age, if you have new onset loss of sense of smell, I would really, in my opinion, sort of say that may very well be COVID until proven otherwise. I think that's the safest way of going about it. I think it'd be a reason to think to get tested. I think it'd be a reason to think to maybe isolate or quarantine if it shows up out of the blue. Folks are still getting colds these days, and so it might come from something like that. But I would take it seriously. I would take it as a sign that there's something going on, and take some action thereof. And now the reality with what's happening is, just for those that don't know, your sense of smell comes from the top part of your nose. We don't quite know, but what it seems like what's happening with COVID is that the COVID virus that's attaching itself into the lining of the nose and the back of the nose and the top of the nose, and coming through into the body in those directions, is creating inflammation and creating damage or inflammation in the cells that support the actual smell fibers that are up in the top part of the nose. And we think that's what's called, that's where the damage is being caused. The good news, there is good news here, is if your sense of smell is gone because of COVID, studies are showing that almost always that sense of smell is going to return. It may take a few weeks. It sometimes may take a few months. But I think for those that are kind of getting down in the dumps, that you may have been exposed to COVID, you may have COVID, you lost your sense of smell, you can't taste very much, things are sort of not as appealing as they once were, that is something that's likely to come back. So I think, the good news is it tends to be temporary. The news is it's something to take seriously. It's something to really take action on. And I guess I would say at some point, hopefully, we'll be, on the other side of this, and I'll be happy when we return to a day where sense of smell or smell loss is, back due to the typical run-of-the-mill cold versus the kind of current COVID situation. So, Dr. Kandula with Advent. For more information about Advent, please visit us on our website. Thank you.